And now sports with Chris Duerr from the Little Jess Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Sports Desk.
Well, after a pair of games that were perhaps a little too dramatic in the regional, the Quincy Blue Devils looked much more themselves tonight in punching their ticket to the Sweet 16. We will take you now to O'Fallon in that game against Belleville West, although that first quarter tonight, we get the Belleville West here that had given everybody fits and Cinderellaed its way to this point. Here is Tyler Sprick with the offensive rebound and putback to extend his team to a 12-8 lead. Then off the long court miss, it's Keyshawn Thomas doing his thing right here as he gets the putback to beat the buzzer. 16-14 Blue Devils after the first, and then it was Quincy High at its finest. Mr. Longcore BL3 going to find Ralph Wires coming up right here in the corner for the triple. Quincy High School's lead is at 19-16. Then Longcore doing the D. Dishing to Dom Clay in transition for the lay-in. All of a sudden, Quincy High School was up 28-16, forces the West timeout after a 12-0 run. BL3 was a monster in this game. Massive running three-pointer at the buzzer. He had 15 points in the second quarter alone. It's 45-22, and the Blue Devils just going to work from there. Late third now, Dom Clay to BL3 coming up right here to Mr. Thomas underneath, made it 51-34. Quincy High School showing out the full array of offensive goodness in this one. Closing out strong, Mr. Longcore, BL3 tonight with 28. Quincy High School gets the win going away in this one. Yes, indeed. Punching their ticket to the Sweet 16, 74-46. Andy Douglas, happy.
I think everything for us revolves around what we do on the defensive end. I thought our guys came out motivated on that side of things. Little rough start getting things going, but you know, games like this, you expect to have a little bit of that. Just really proud of our guys, you know, being able to be up how we were at halftime, struggle a little bit getting things going in the third quarter, but to pull it out against a team that's playing, you know, arguably as well as anybody right now in this area. So just proud of our group.
Coming up on Friday, that means a showdown with the Ironmen of Normal Community, a battle between the number 5 and 6 teams in the state. The Ironmen taking care of business and eliminating Moline tonight, 61-44. That game is actually at Pekin, so we'll preview that coming up a little later this week. All right, let's move on to sectional semifinal play at the Class 1A level. It was Camp Point Central taking on Peoria Heights tonight at A-Town. Third quarter, Nick Moore doing his thing, driving and passing to Gavin Blewett, who gets the bucket to Band-Aid in the three-point play. This time it'll be Blewett who finds Moore, a couple of dribbles, and just gets this one to fall in. Part of an 11-4 run that was pivotal for Central in coming back in the third quarter. More from Mr. Blewett. He gives Camp Point Central the lead with this shot. Oh, the students are loving it. More from Blewett, this time to Drew Pavin. Mr. Pavin hits the mid-range jumper, and yes, Peoria Heights came back and got it down to within 2, but CPC closes it out with free throws. They win 48-44. They will learn their opponent on Friday coming up tomorrow. And the other side of the bracket, most likely, Illini Bluffs. All right, how about West Central trying to get their ticket punched to the Sweet 16, taking on Madison tonight. And man, Zach Evans doing his thing, find a chance little early. The lob inside gives them the early lead. Then Evans over a double team right here to Mr. Carson Brown. Lots of sharing in this one, though Madison going to take the lead thanks to a 3 coming up right here by Darius Williams. Good shot for him. Madison dangerous offensively. Mr. Little, though, scores an and one with a second left in the quarter to give his team right there a 9-8 lead. Left to chance indeed at this point. How about Zach Evans? Going to inbound off a defender and score right here. Scored his 2,000th career point tonight as part of a 35-point effort. Still Madison hanging around in this one. Jamarian Skinner with the layup right here, tying the game up at 17. Here comes West Central in seek and destroy mode. Evans to give his team the lead right there, and he would soon follow that with a fast break score to get that 2K point. Tell you what, very special player, surefire all-stater, and man, he might take his team all the way to the dance the way they're playing right now. Carson Clevenger down to Evans right here. The pass to Little for a layup. West Central led by 9. They never look back in this game as the West Central Cougars are moving on. Again, like Camp Point Central, they will not find out their opponent in Friday's game until Wednesday action is complete tomorrow. Let's move on to Missouri sectional play tonight. Very strange game in this one between Palmyra and Priory. Couldn't have started better for the Panthers, who had a massive crowd. Fun to watch this community really enthuse over these guys. You know what? This started as a defensive slugfest. Palmyra with just 6 points in the first quarter. Carson Hicks with the first 4 of them. And then it's Ryan McKinney to spot his team to a 6-1 lead at the end of the first 8 minutes. I told you it was defensive. Second quarter, a little more offensive. Bear Bach to Carson Hicks. Nifty stuff. It's 11-1 at this point in favor of Palmyra. The first Priory field goal didn't come until there was 4:30 left in the first half. McKinney coming up here with a steal. Check it out. This is an absolutely beautiful pass by Bear Bach. The one-handed Magic Johnson slingshot into Carson Hicks. It's 16-11 P-Town at the half. The second half devolved into a weird three-point shooting contest. Hudson Bach equal to it in the third, but in the fourth quarter, Palmyra goes ice cold. Priory does not, and despite their frigid start, Priory eliminates Palmyra. Massive upset tonight, 40-29 your final, but what a wonderful season for the Palmyra Panthers. The Canton Tigers trying to pull off an upset of their own right in Class 2 in the sectional, taking on a really good Harrisburg squad in this one. Harrisburg showing you their talents early with Wyatt Lind drilling the three, but in the first half, Canton was having none of that talk in this one. Starts with Zach Sparrow. Nifty move for him. Finish at the other end with the larceny and the layup. Then Caden Oliver, who has been a fire in this postseason, doing his thing again. Another steal, another pass, another layup at the back end of this thing as the fun was just getting started in this one. Carter Bremer firing back in this one, returning fire for Harrisburg. First half was just an absolute war. How about Caleb Cox doing his thing right here for Canton? Takes the rebound, drives it the length of the floor. It was a 2-point game at the half. Canton was trailing the second half. Harrisburg blows it wide open, and unfortunately, Canton's Cinderella run comes to an end. 53-38 is your final in that contest. A couple of other scores to pass along to you tonight. College basketball, Culver Stockton's men's season is over with a loss in the quarterfinals of the Hart tournament. This one to Graceland. They finished the season 14-15. Softball today. Home opener for Culver Stockton. They win 2 over Hannibal LaGrange. And we got some baseball to bring you just because it was 78 degrees outside this afternoon. John Wood taking on the Culver Stockton reserves in this one. Ben Caspery, the pride of Quincy Notre Dame, steps to the plate. Leadoff flare. I think Ben hurt his shoulder on this one, but he's about to shoulder the early offense in this one with his base running. He'd get the steal and turn it into more off the fake sacrifice right here as Mr. Caspery is fast. He'd later score on a dropped pop-up. Landon Gilliland was pitching really well early on for John Wood in this one. Had the nasty stuff working here early on. Culver Stockton would take a 3-1 lead, though, thanks to Jeremiah Morris with a bases-clearing double. But John Wood rallies big time to sweep 2 today. They win this one 14-4 in the second game, 17-7.